Good afternoon and welcome to this new 800 SEC Dare to Ask. Today we are living a very special episode because with us we have really two special friends of our community at 360 degrees. A warm welcome to Silvia Candiani.
Ciao.
And Vittorio Colao.
Hi.
We are really very happy because every time that we leave this live LinkedIn chat, we are trying to discover something more about our guest, something more about your profession. We are curious, so we would like to go in deep and to discover something that maybe nobody knows, and also something personal. Silvia and Vittorio are a lot of in common. They are both alumni of our university. They lived some experience in McKinsey and in Vodafone. But most of all, I would like to underline that they have a great and bold commitment to improve our society and to give a contribution for a better society. So, Silvia, here you are at home. As all of us knows, she is our president of Bocconi Alumni Community, McKinsey, San Paolo IMI, Vodafone, and now in Microsoft you are vice president of Global Telco and former CEO of Italy. Silvia has also co-founded Valore D in Italy, if I remember, 12 years ago. And so Valore D is one of the association that is committed to improve the balanced gender, but also the inclusion at large. And Vittorio, you are at home too. A friend also, Vittorio, of our community, alumnus of the year in 2004. You sit in our board of the Bocconi University. You live and are living a dynamic career that sets a benchmark for a lot of us. And you had Bocconi, but also an MBA at Harvard. You spent time of your careers in McKinsey, Vodafone. We are proud that you are former Minister for Digital Transformation and Technological Innovation, and now at General Atlantic. What I like to say is that Vittorio is a native and conscious enthusiastic. He put together hearts and hands, and one of your capability is that you are able to start from the vision and strategy, but you transform this in action and results. And for who has the lucky to work with you, also a lot of fun, and a lot of us can prove what I am saying. So I am sure that you have perceived that you are here with the two special friends and also two smart people, but now it's time to lower my voice and to start to listen to yours. And let me start with the common and icebreaker question that we use. What was or is written on your ID as profession, and would you see yourself in this world, or if you can change this world? Silvia, if we want to be the icebreaker.
Thank you. It says now dirigente, so manager, so I think it's appropriate. Even though when I was a kid, I wanted to be an archaeologist, and maybe that could have been a bit more fun.
And for you, Vittorio?
Well, first of all, on the new digital cards, there's no profession anymore, which is interesting in itself, because it means that since the last 10 years, nobody can be defined in a profession for 10 years, which probably is correct. So today, there's nothing. And of course, I had, like Silvia Dirigente, and it reflects pretty well what I have been doing for most of my life, which is to organize people and assets to do stuff.
And you also drive people, not only organize. So you have both outstanding careers. And as I said before, you have in common Bocconi, McKinsey, and Vodafone. And I am curious to know how these experiences has shaped your person, not only now as a manager, but also like person. And if you can share with us some thoughts about the link and the synergies between universities and companies. So if you want to go on, Vittorio.
I mean, Bocconi was the pleasure of learning and the rigor of learning, and I still believe it is a very important foundation of what I did in my life. McKinsey was more the rigor of thinking, so the logic and how to apply good learnings into real life. And then when I went into an executive career, it was more making stuff happen, implementing stuff, facing difficulties, facing unexpected situation, planning for unexpected situation, which is very important. And I have to say, ideally, I've been very blessed. It's a wonderful, trajectory, because first you learn the hard science, then you start applying it with good thinking, and then you have to face the world, which is different every day.
Mm-hmm. And for you, Silvia?
Same for me. Bocconi gave me the sense of curiosity and discovery, and I particularly remember when I went for an exchange program to the US, and I really thank Bocconi for having this incredible network of university to, it was the first taste of life abroad and of an international career. McKinsey the same, really the problem solving, which helped me, face difficult problems even later on in my career. Vodafone is really the courage of doing things. When we started, it was Omnitel, so it was a startup, and it was really this sense of doing things for the first time that were, unheard of. So being a bit of a trailblazers. And now at Microsoft, it's the excitement to be at the heart of technology, where you shape things and you shape the future how it will be. And so it's about making things happen, but also inspire companies to change and transform. So I like that very much.
Thank you very much. And listening to you, I have some words that is recurring. That is people, international, the exchange program, but a glimpse also the leadership attitude that you have. And if you would like to share with us, if you have a role model for your style of leadership, so if there is someone that is inspiring or has inspired you in the past.
Actually, even before this live event, I said I've always been inspired by Vittorio, so it's it's okay.
That says something about age.
No, I don't think so.
But also my mom. So I think a woman had to face very difficult situations, being a widow, and making finding a way around it. And I think it's also a great example of leadership.
Great.
Listen, first of all, I think Silvia gave the right answer. Very often the true inspiration should come from our parents and from the people who actually brought us up, and we underestimate the importance of it. So that's the right answer. Then my business answer is actually, I don't buy this concept. I never bought it. I always said to the young people when I meet them, don't fall in love with a specific human being. I worked with, wonderful people, from Mario Draghi to Jamie Dimon, from Steve Jobs to Satya Nadella, from Tim Cook to whatever, You can name all of them. But I never fell in love, because they're amazing people, but they always have, like all of us, some vulnerabilities, some side which is maybe less nice, and so on. And so what I tell to young people is, look all of them, observe, but in the end, find the leadership characteristics inside you. And if you can, manage to reduce or mitigate the weaknesses. But as I said, I think Silvia's answer is the right one. Get the inspiration from those who brought you up.
What I like in what you are saying is the uniqueness of each people. So maybe you can inspire with someone, but we have to discover who
you are. And also, you can be an extrovert, you can be an introvert, you can be creative, or you can be very analytical. I've seen leaders of all kinds. Honestly, everybody can be a leader if she or he uses her strength in the right way.
And I can say, following to this, that you have always walked the talk. So if we go on, Vittorio, at one point of your career, you decided to make your skills and your experience available for society and for the country. And what has pushed you and your inner motivation to do this? And maybe also for Silvia, that has put sometimes available for the community of female people to help young girl to give time to our community. So I am curious what moved you towards this giving forward.
I think it's a combination of, on one hand, you must have a desire to see good values or good principles applied. And if you think you have good values and good principles, the most impactful, the biggest thing that you can do is the public service and giving it back to not just customers or clients, but to everybody. So there is an ethical ambition. And on the other hand, to be honest, is simply circumstances. You know, if somebody needs your skills, you should be there. You should not make the mistake to think that every situation is good for everybody. So if it happens, it's good, and you should be willing to do that, and then your life will restart in a different direction. But most important is the first one. You should have that drive to really see good values, good principles spread.
Thank you.
For me, it starts from really being grateful and for what I've been able to experience, to do, and so I want to try to give my contribution to make things better. And as I'm a doer, I actually like to get engaged and not just dream about a better future, but start doing something to help with my, in my scope, with what I can do. And so I'm very excited about the community work with Bocconi alumni, but also I'm very passionate about trying to have an impact on the life and the future success of young women. So that's...
And Silvia, is really what you are saying, you are in this way. Thank you. And Vittorio, coming back about the impact for a better society, if you think about telcos sector, is absolutely a key trigger to the development of the country today. But if you have a look towards the future, what you would like to share about your thoughts?
Well, there's two components that will be essential for the future of our societies. One is having communication networks which are super fast, low latency, super ubiquitous, and the other one to have application software, artificial intelligence powering, decisions and everything in the society. Both of them have, one is an established sector, the other one is much, and Silvia knows, is evolving very fast. The telecommunication one is the one that is suffering more, to be honest, because it's infrastructure, it's big investments, and unfortunately, there is a culture that return on investment is not important. I actually say that if we can all use, apps to order food or to take cars, or if we can manage the environment in a better way with more, emission-conscious decisions, yes, you need the applications, but you also need the ubiquitous power network. So these two things should be seen more as a part of the solution, a single part of the solution to certain big problems that we have.
And Silvia, there is today a huge hype about ChatGPT, Gen AI. What is your thoughts about these tools? How do you see the opportunities that they can create for all of us?
I mean, AI is really disruptive. I think there is a time before the advent of generative AI and a time after. And it has the potential to really disrupt and transform every process from interacting with the customer service between company and customers, but also in making every process better in a company. And back to the telco comment, I think telco can also be central in this transformation, leveraging AI. Now, as it is so important, we all need to be prepared to learn about it, think about what we could do with AI in order to redesign processes and products, and so to skill ourselves around the potential of AI and to get going, to become practical. But at the same time, we also need to think how to use it responsibly. And so I think that is also an area where also Bocconi can play a role to help think through how to make sure that AI benefits us all.
Yeah. Absolutely. Here in university, we have different lab and also course that has started about artificial intelligence. And so we agree with this, your point of view. And Vittorio, do you want to add something about artificial intelligence in terms of impact and risks, as Silvia was saying 2 minutes ago, maybe cross the sector and also cross the countries?
Listen, there's like two camps today. There's the camp of people who say, oh, this is a big danger. It's going to be the end of mankind and we'll be killed by the robots or something like that, or by nuclear war or whatever. And then the camp of the enthusiasts who say we'll all work 2 hours per day and everything else will be wonderfully done by AI. I am a little bit in between. I think there are many positives, and we are now a little bit over pessimistic on the negatives. I think there are big positives about the quality of life of people and the quality of management of the environment. I think most importantly, that actually will be amazingly transformative. And as Silvia said, this is really the opportunity. There are some dangers which, interesting enough, people say are the dangers of AI. They are dangers of bad people using AI, not the dangers of AI intrinsically. It just depends on how you attach AI to what. And so I think that some kind of safeguards have to be put. I like the European Commission and President von der Leyen's definition of guardrails, not a strict regulation, because it's impossible to regulate ex ante something which is general purpose, but also, indicating the safety and the private and human rights levels that you want to get. And then, frankly, the message for the alumni, for the students, is AI can also be used to defend the world against the risks of AI. So use AI defensively. Use the AI for security. Use AI to protect identity, put watermarks, put digital prints, something that can explain that in reality AI itself can be mitigated in its own risk, like we did with cars, like we did with everything.
Yeah. And if I may also, if you think of some of the big challenges of our world, like sustainability, there is no way we can solve for some of those problems without the impact of AI. So
I appreciate these double faces of artificial intelligence, also the great opportunity that with the smart regulation at European level, we can have to mitigate the risks and also to stop some people that, as you said, Vittorio, bad people can use in a bad way. But I am a positive woman, and I hope that the good people are more and stronger than bad people. So absolutely. And Silvia, if I tell you STEM and digital skills, that is your core, one of your core skills, what do you feel to share with our community about the future of this and also the opportunities?
Skills is one of the most important driving factor for an economy, by the way. So I think it's really important to see that there is a great lack of relevant digital skills in this moment. And it pains me to see that we still have unemployment, youth unemployment at 30%, for example, in Italy. But we are lacking people with relevant IT competencies, and there are about 140,000 jobs that cannot be covered because we lack people with those skills. The second element is that so we need to retrain and to upskill people that are already in the workforce, and we also need to plan for getting those skills through universities, through maybe ITS and academies for the future. But also, it's also important to think in terms of lifelong learning. And I think that's also a key topic for Università Bocconi.
One of our pillars.
Because you cannot think that after graduating, you can stop studying for the rest of your life, but you need to get into a mindset where you need to continue to upgrade yourself and to learn the skills that are needed.
And Vittorio, on this topic, maybe I would like also to go in deep with you about the digital skills, as Silvia said, about our company in Italy from your angle when you was minister for the PMI in Italy, because sometimes we see these two different worlds, the great corporation, the large corporation, and the PMI. Do you have some suggestion maybe for how they can take value from this great opportunity?
I will really split in three, because you have the large corporations. Forget Silvia is handling
Silvia,
all of them.
Not
all
forget
them.
you.
They are completely digitized by Microsoft. Honestly, the mid-size Italian enterprises are pretty good. I mean, I would kind of dispel the myth that they are not good. Export is amazing. Orders are great. Automation is great. I visit in my new job a lot of companies that honestly are not as good as the large ones. They are better than the large ones because they use applications which are more modern. They are in cloud. They know how to do stuff. They have young employees who know how to do stuff. So honestly, the real issue in Italy is micro. The super small one, that are like 4, 5, 6 employees, 10 employees, this type of company that actually is very, very informally organized. Now, for those, what we did as government was to have some incentives, of course, but I do believe that an important role is for industry associations. And industry associations should be a bit less the lobbyist and a little bit more the training and education provider, in conjunction with Bocconi, in conjunction with many other schools, with companies that do a lot of educational work. But if I look at the three, it's more the micro, which are many in Italy, to be honest, but it's more the micro, not really the mediums. And medium is strong.
Maybe also for us as a university, we have responsibilities also towards this micro. So we can also think how to help not only Bocconi, but the university environment to help them. And we are speaking about also before, Silvia mentioned the sustainable growth. So we speak a lot about ESG, the sustainable growth. But I am curious to know if, in your opinion, Vittorio, the sustainable growth that now is a must for all the companies, micro, or larger, and it's also in all the agenda of the states, is something that not only can coexist with the capitalism, but capitalism and the sustainable growth can reinforce each other?
Listen, the answer is an obvious yes, with two comments. First, we have to move, and we are moving, thank God, past the lipstick phase, where you put a sustainability report and everything was done, and consultants were making money on it, but at the end of the day, not much was changing. Now we are in the substance. So to be practical, you need to do carbon accounting. It's not just talking about emissions, it's carbon accounting. We need to introduce carbon accounting in our company, on ESG, on diversity, on women. You need to publish how many women, not how many men you have in the board, all the levels down the company. So we are in the phase of measurement, reporting, and actions. And this is very important that, as a message, everybody who listens to this video really pushes their bosses, their companies into this real direction, not just the lipstick direction. The second comment, which is more philosophical, is capitalism and sustainability compatible. Capitalism is compatible when it's long-term capitalism. A good long-term capitalist wants a wonderful environment, wonderful context around, and therefore it has to be sustainable, and therefore decisions go right. When it goes wrong is when capitalism gets very short-term. And here is where regulation should come. Regulation should help capitalism to be true to itself and be long-term, and take away incentives for wrong behavior in the short term. And that's where I would focus legislation, take away the short-termism, and allow capitalism to be good and long-termist.
And if I may, this is a moment of, becoming practical, as Vittorio said. And I really do hope that alumni from Bocconi can be a bit of a seed of change, because now the tools are there, but it's really a cultural revolution, right? To put sustainability as the center of how we do business. And Bocconi alumni are really part of the leading managerial class, certainly in Italy and more abroad. So they do have a role, we do have a role in making that happen.
I like this, and from what Vittorio said, I like that not a short-term capitalism, but also to have a finance that is patient and reliable, so could help the capitalism. And also here in Bocconi we discuss a lot about this different way to live the finance. But now the time is going on, and I have for you also one last question that is about if you should go far from our planet, you have to go away, if there are 2 or 3 things that you bring with you, or something that you would love to live here.
I would certainly take my family, if it's, I don't know if that counts, and the other thing would be a good book.
And on this point, Vittorio?
I'm much more practical and personal. I would take with me dark chocolate, 80%, and I would take with me photos of my friends, my family, memories, everything of the good planet Earth, mountains, lakes, and things like that. So keep the memories of good planet, because I don't think that there's many good planets out there, at least that we can reach. And what I would leave here, the tie, clearly. I mean, I dropped the tie and I don't want to reuse it. And probably alcohol. I don't think alcohol in the end is needed.
That's not better for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry. But when you have dark chocolate, you don't need alcohol.
A lot of our guests said, also Roberto Bolle, I remember that you see this so gymnic. Also Roberto wants to take chocolate and see. And so you, the nature, the photo, you are similar. And so you are human. So a lot of our guests, as we said at the beginning, has a heart, not only the hand and the mind. So thank you really very, very much. The time flies away when we are lucky to stay with some friends like you, very smart, but also very pleasant. So really thank you for the highlighting, for some thoughts that you share with us. I am sure that also all our friends that are behind the video has appreciated a lot. So thank you very much, and thank you also to all of you. Let's go on to send us your comments, feedback, suggestion. They are a really very precious gift for us. And we wait for you next month with a new episode of our LinkedIn Live chat. Bye-bye.
Grazie, Elena.
Thank you, Silvia. Thank you, Vittorio.
Grazie.